Hey everyone, it's Maddie
and Poodle
from Reality Gaze. We want to share a new podcast that we think you'll really love called The Big Flop.
Now, I want you to picture Steve Jobs tinkering with a computer in his garage, Beyonce practicing dance moves in her childhood bedroom. Every big moment starts with a big dream. But what happens when that big dream turns out to be an even bigger failure?
Each week on The Big Flop, host Misha Brown is joined by different comedians to chronicle some of the biggest failures and blunders in pop culture history. Each episode will have you thinking to yourself, why in the world did this get made?
From box office flops like Cats the movie to Action Park, New Jersey's infamous theme park that was the backdrop to countless injuries, mini lawsuits, and rides so wild that it became known as Class Action Park.
Or Quibi, that short-form video platform with an even shorter lifespan. It was a recipe for disaster from the start, and its creator, Jeffrey Katzenberg, even got the idea from the Da Vinci Code. It's a story of spectacular failure with lots of surprises along the way.
We're about to play a clip from The Big Flop. Enjoy The Big Flop on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can listen to The Big Flop early and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts today.
It's October 2020, and actor Thomas Lennon is sitting butt naked on a bucket. He's filming a scene for his new movie, Reno 911, It's a Wonderful Heist. Here's Lennon on AV Club.
I had my pants completely down, and I was pretending to poop in a bucket.
Do y'all remember Reno 911? It was that instant classic when it premiered on Comedy Central in 2003, and now 17 years later, they're shooting the revival for a brand new streaming platform called Quibi. Quibi claims it's a brand new way to watch TV and movies. Hollywood quality content in 10 minutes or less, only available on your phone. The idea came from some of the biggest names in Hollywood and Silicon Valley. The app seemed to have everything going for it. But right in the middle of a take, Thomas Lennon starts to notice whispers among the crew. Everyone's suddenly uncomfortable, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with his butt.
When we finally cut, everybody's like, hey, Quibi's doesn't exist anymore. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Because the pooping on the bucket was definitely, this was for Quibi, so.
If you think that's undignified, then just wait until you hear about the rise and fall of Quibi, which lasted less than a year before it kicked the proverbial poop bucket.
The short-form streaming service Quibi, the startup is shutting down after just 6 months in operation.
This was the hot new thing in Hollywood, a short-form but now stunningly short-lived streaming service.
Still, how is it that with so much star power, Quibi, the billion-dollar promise, could possibly flop?
From Wondery and at Will Media, this is The Big Flop, where we chronicle the greatest flubs, fails, and blunders of all time. I'm your host, Misha Brown, social media superstar and your wife's gay best friend, at Don't Cross a Gay Man. And today, we're talking about the short life of the short-form platform, Quibi. And here to help me tell the tale of this ill-begotten union of Hollywood and tech is Connor Ratliff, comedian and host of the podcast Dead Eyes, and Matt Belisai, comedian and host of the new Wondery podcast Dis and Tell. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Connor, what is your personal experience with Quibi?
Well, I knew a couple of people who had either auditioned for or been cast. A friend of mine, Zach Cherry, was in a Quibi that I don't remember if it ever got released or not. And I don't believe I had any experience with Quibi while it existed. And then post-Quibi, I watched a few things on the Roku channel that were Quibi.
Matt, we asked you earlier about your connection with Quibi offline, and you said you felt like you're the only comedian who didn't have a Quibi show and that you absolutely did not watch a single second of it.
No disrespect to all of the wonderful people involved.
Well, I have gone far enough into the black hole that is Quibi. So for a lot of people, in 2020. There was basically no daylight between finding out that Quibi existed and finding out that it had gone up in flames. But the Quibi story actually begins much, much earlier. And to understand Quibi, we first have to talk about the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown's best-selling novel.
Okay.
Obviously, right? Yeah. So it's around 2011, and Hollywood super producer Jeffrey Katzenberg picks up the mystery thriller like so many other people, and as he blasts through it, he has an epiphany. He realizes that the best thing about the Da Vinci Code is apparently how short the chapters are.
I had no idea we were going to start there.
All the way back.
Listen, he's got a point.
Well, fast forward to 2018, and Katzenberg, because of this, wants to create a subscription-based, smartphone-only streaming platform for shows that are only 6 to 9 minutes long. Here he is talking at Axios' Smarter, Faster Revolution conference.
Listen, I don't think people have as many 30s and 40 minutes today. I think that giving them the convenience, if they got 10 minutes, they can read a chapter or two. If they've got an hour, they can keep going. By the way, I would say there's not a single thing lesser about the Da Vinci Code other than the length of the chapters.
We're going to disagree on that, but that's okay.